at this point, it would have been Lewis who was here saying a few words, but unfortunately he is having some trouble connecting, so I'm going to briefly say them now. But sadly, today is Lewis's last day working at YouthSTEM 2030, having joined the team back in December. So if we can get him back, then we will. But I just want to take the chance to say thank you to Lewis for all of his contributions to the team. He's been a big part of organising this research conference today, but even more generally, you'll have probably seen him on social media, putting articles on the website, and also being involved in supporting our team of volunteers from around the world. So shout out to you, Lewis. I don't even know if you can hear this just now, because he is having some technical difficulties, as I said, but I just wanted to take the chance to say thank you. And so you'll be able to hear more about Lewis's time in the YouthSTEM 2030 team. He's written an article which is going to be shared on our website next week. So look out for that, where he'll be able to share in his own words, which are probably going to do a lot more justice to it than mine. So with that, we are coming on to a very much awaited part of our programme. I'm going to welcome Yara on stage as well, because we are your hosts. We're going to do our best to be the best host that we possibly can, but we are here to host our annual YouthSTEM Matters Awards. This is an absolute highlight of the year, genuinely, and I can't wait to celebrate all the incredible contributions, both of our authors and of our volunteers. But before we go to that, there is one quick prize that we need to announce for our research conference Quest. So all of you attendees today have been doing amazing at finding all of our articles, finding all of our hints. Some of them were quite fiendish. That's Iona and Victor that you've got to thank for those. But finding all of our hints in our articles, and that sneaky one hidden in Regenesis's Expo booth. And I can now tell you that we had quite a lot of submissions, but our prize draw winner of that is Alina Sarikaya. Well done, Alina. You got the correct answer, and so did many people actually, but you were the one selected from the prize draw to win our prize, the voucher will be on its way to you very soon, and you will also get a copy of the YouthSTEM Matters print edition. So well done you. And the correct answer, for anybody wondering it, was young people innovating through STEM to achieve the UN SDGs. And if you did get all those words and reordered it in a slightly different way, we also considered you too. Because everybody's got different ways of giving the same message, and as long as you had the message, that was the most important thing. So well done to everybody who took part in that. If you do still want to win a prize though, there's still a chance for you to be able to win something, because as was shared earlier in the event, for everybody who posts on social media today about the research conference, as long as you use the hashtag YouthSTEMMattersConf, and tag us in at YouthSTEM 2030 on either Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn, then you will be entered into another prize draw to be able to win there. So if you didn't win that one, then there's still the chance to be able to win some prizes. So with all of that said, we will now get onto the awards, because I know that everybody's awaiting these very much in anticipation. So we'll get started first with our author awards. So let's get started with these.
And I should mention, first of all, that these were pretty gut-wrenching to decide.
We spent hours.
Yeah.
Absolutely hours. So for all you people out there, well done, because these were hard.
Yeah, you made it really difficult for us to pick.
Absolutely. So let's get to the first award then, so that we can celebrate all of our amazing authors, because this year we have worked with over 90 young people who have written and published over 60 articles, both digitally and in print, for the first time ever. So well done, everybody. So let's look to our first award then. So our first award is the Best SDG Focus Award, in recognition of an article that shows excellent consideration of the SDGs. And the shortlist is LGBTQ plus people changing the world through STEM, Celebrating Pride 2021 by Abby Fitzsimmons, Madeline Perry and Vary McCann. And I will point out here, before anybody suggests anything otherwise, it is specifically for Abby and Maddie's contribution to the article, not my own. Cooling Down Our Cities, Could Biomimicry Be the Answer? By Lily Tierney. When Climate Change Meets STEM by Samiksha Manoharan. And finally, Food Processing for Food Security by Vatsal Arora. We had such a difficult decision with this one. So many amazing articles there, all exploring the SDGs in their own way. But the winner of the Best SDG Focus Award is Vatsal Arora for their article Food Processing for Food Security. Vatsal, we absolutely loved how you considered so many different perspectives within your article and how the issue of food security impacts on so many other SDGs, from the economy to gender equality, health and climate change, and so many different aspects. So congratulations on being the winner of our first award.
Congratulations, Vatsal, and let's move on to our next award. So the Speak Up Award recognizes an article that explores and raises awareness about an issue or topic which is rarely spoken about or even considered taboo. So the shortlist is In Conversation with Dr. Natisha Dukey by Anna Zhang and Madeline Perry, Herpes, a Deadly Disease or a Harmless Skin Infection by Lucy Hargraves, Food for Mood, an Insight into the Link Between the Gut and the Brain by Morgan, and Unpaid Internships in STEM, Are They as Beneficial as We Are Told by Shalini Salam. So, the winner of the Speak Up Award is Shalini. Congratulations for your article on unpaid internships in STEM. I thought that it was particularly noteworthy because I feel like unpaid internships is just such an accepted convention. It isn't often challenged a lot, and it's well-deserved challenging why we do things and who is benefiting and who is not benefiting with this. And I think Shalini did a great job. So congrats.
Absolutely. There's so many issues that our authors this year have been able to speak up about, which is so important, I think, that we're able to give a platform to that. And I can't wait to see how many more young people can speak up about the issues they care about, having heard today about how to write an article way back at the start from Samiksha. So congratulations, everyone. Congratulations, Shalini.
All right, next award.
On to our next award. Yep. So next up, we have the Local Spotlight Award. So this is for an article which has shone the spotlight on an issue that's local to the author and relevant to their people in the local area or their region or their country. Now, even though the SDGs are global goals, they do need local solutions. So all of these authors did an incredible job of celebrating that and recognising that. So our Local Spotlight Award nominees are Programming Boot Camps in Latin America by Isabella Nati Sanchez Tape, Poverty and Migration from the Northern Triangle by Maria Teresa Villatoro, Teen Health and Wildfires, Impassioning Youth Climate Action by Shelby Negocian, and Building Bridges Through STEM by Simran Adnani. Really, again, a really tough one here, but the winner of the 2022 Local Spotlight Award is Maria Teresa Villatoro for the article Poverty and Migration from the Northern Triangle. Maria, we loved how much depth you brought to this issue, how you were also doing it to highlight an SDG that is less talked about within the Journal of Poverty, and how you were then able to bring your local perspective to this issue to share it on a global stage. So congratulations, Maria, and congratulations to everyone else who was shortlisted too.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. It was quite a brazen article, which I really enjoyed. So for our next award, we have Inclusion Champion. So this recognizes an article that championed inclusion through the writing or the approach they took towards writing the article. So our shortlists are Inequalities and Barriers in STEM by Alexandra Ganotakis, Catherine Chen, Ramal Shabazz, and Umaima Usman, Harnessing Domestic Technology and Innovations by Onukalobi Chibwez Godwin, The Importance of Inclusive Design in Today's Society by Janavi Giridhar, Building Bridges Through STEM by Simran Adnani, and Voices of Youth, Vaccine Equity by Tuan Kathleen Lin. So, the winner of this award, we actually have two. The first winner is Anukulobi Chibwez Godwin for his article on harnessing domestic technology and innovations. It was quite an interesting article that spoke a lot about sort of the disparities between domestic technologies between countries, specifically in Africa. And for our second winner, we have Kathleen Nguyen for Voices of Youth Vaccine Equity, because it's such an important topic, again, about the disparities between who's receiving new and important technologies and who's not, and why that's the case and what we can do about it.
Absolutely great to see that there's so many young people advocating for a more inclusive world, because if it's not more inclusive, sort of like what Michael was saying at the end of his talk, it's not going to be more sustainable. So congratulations everyone on that one. And I can see there's so much, I just want to say here, I can see there's so much support for all of our winners and shortlistees in the chat. So please do keep on sharing that, because it's so nice to see everybody supporting each other. No matter whether you win or not, it's such a great achievement to be here. So let's go on to our next award. So next up, we have the Investigator Award. So this is in recognition of an author who took an investigative approach towards their article. They actively sought out the best and most relevant information to include, because there's so much information out there, but these authors particularly really took time to find out which bits of information were going to be the best for their article. So our nominees are Biomimicry of Aquatic Organisms in Engineering by Alvina Mishra. 5 People Engineering a Better Future by Erica Tameo, Tuong Kathleen Nguyen, and Rivarishe Nyabando. In Conversation with a Local GP Surgery by Janavi Giridhar. And finally, but by no means least, Modelling the Interactions between SARS-CoV-2 spike protein and monoclonal antibodies to inform translational approaches to treat COVID-19 infection by Robert Naughton. So this, again, was a really, really difficult one. You'll see there's a kind of running theme here with these. None of them were easy at all. We did eventually reach a decision though, and the winner of the Investigator Award is Alvina Mishra for your article, Biomimicry of Aquatic Organisms in Engineering. Alvina, you took so much time and effort to have so many different sources, such a varied mix of sources, and making sure that those sources were really reliable and that they were going to be relevant and really enhance your article. We thought you really investigated the topic with a really deep dive, and that was what led to you being awarded the Investigator Award. So well done, Alvina, and well done all of our shortlist as well.
Yeah, it was actually an incredibly dense SciComm article, but it was really well pulled off. So I think you'll enjoy reading it if you take a look at it. So for our next award, we are looking at exceptional communication. So this is in recognition of an author who has shown exceptional communication to write an article that's highly engaging. So for our shortlist, we have Karan Bashir, Lily Tierney, Samiksha Manoharan, and Tvisha Chandupatla. And the winner of Exceptional Communication is Tvisha Chandupatla. Congratulations for winning.
Absolutely, congratulations, Tvisha. You really took a really complex topic and broke it down so that anybody, no matter whether they had a background in that area or not, could understand what you were saying, and it was written in a really engaging way. So well done, Tvisha. So our next award is in recognition of an author or authors who has demonstrated an excellent attitude and has worked notably hard to make their article the best it can be. So this is the Outstanding Dedication Award. We know that all of our authors, every single one, puts in so much hard work to make their article that author's best and to be able to share their voice on the issue that they care about. But these particular authors stood out as being ones who were particularly working hard to make their article as amazing as it could be. So our shortlist is Alexandra Ganotakis, Catherine Chen, Rimal Shabazz, and Umaima Usman, Emmanuel Randall, Isabella Nati Sanchez Tape, and Jacqueline Prawira. So our winner of this award really worked hard to make their article their absolute best. They had to overcome some challenges along the way, but they really did persevere to be able to create an amazing article that actually appeared in our Youth STEM Matters print edition, which, as we shared earlier, will be available from the 28th of June. So the winner of the Outstanding Dedication Award is Isabella Nati Sanchez Tape. Congratulations, Isabella, on all the hard work that you put into your article to raise awareness and of what I know was a really personal experience for you. I know that the journey wasn't always easy to being able to finish your article, and I'm so impressed by what you wrote, not least in not your first language. So congratulations for all of your hard work on your article, and a very well-deserved award for you.
Yeah, and I feel like this also really shows that success isn't always linear. You know, like the first time you write an article or the first time you submit an article, it may not be your best. And hopefully it's not your best, because hopefully it becomes so much more better through the review process. But yeah, don't ever throw in the towel and say like, oh, it's fine. There's tons of room to improve. So for our next award, Bright Ideas Award. So this is recognizing an idea that has the potential to make a real difference and make meaningful change. So our short list is Amsal Jalani, Arushi Rastogi, Emmanuel Randall, Hudson Caleb Dye and Chelsea Ye, and Mariah Bias. And the winner is Emmanuel Randall. So congratulations on coming up with the bright idea. And we're excited to see maybe how far it's pursued and how it will be implemented in the world.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Congratulations, Emmanuel Randall. So on to our penultimate author award now. Don't worry, we've still got a whole set of volunteer ones to come after that. But for the authors, this is the second last one. We've got the World Changing Innovation Award. So we know here at Youth STEM 2030 and at Youth STEM Matters specifically that young people can really change the world. So this award is in recognition of somebody who has come up with some sort of innovation or technology that's been shown to make a real difference to a problem and provides a tangible solution to a problem that exists in the real world. So our shortlist for this category is Cynthia Dong, Halberth Andres Lopez Cordova, and Laura Mashura. So our winner of this award has come up with an innovation which is super impressive, and I would like to say big congratulations to Halberth Andres Lopez Cordova. Congratulations, Halberth. We loved reading about the project that you had done in terms of making sure that kind of water is more sustainable, and really impressed by the work that you've been doing on that. And I can't wait for everybody else to be able to read it once it does get published. So I know that you've been working on that project for quite a few years now. So I can't wait for everybody else to be able to read it as well. But for now, enjoy your award and congratulations.
And hopefully this is just the beginning. For our last award, we have a research award that recognizes a high quality project which makes a substantial contribution to the SDGs and demonstrates that there is no age limit in doing STEM research. So for our shortlist, we have Sierra Downey, actually I think Kira Downey, I think I pronounced that wrong, Bobby Bradley, Robert Noden, and Raya Adranov. And the winner of the research award is Ria Adranov. So congratulations for winning this. Again, very well deserved. We really enjoyed reading about all the work you've been doing, and definitely I know that a research project takes so long, and it's so nice when it just comes to a nice conclusion. So congratulations.
Absolutely, congratulations, Ria. And I did actually hear from a member of the team earlier this week that Ria's article is getting very close to being able to be published. So very soon, Ria, you will be a published author, and very soon all of you in our audience will be able to read about Ria's amazing work. So congratulations to Ria and all of our author award winners. They have made an incredible contribution to the journal and to making change through STEM. And I also want to say congratulations to everybody who maybe didn't win today but was shortlisted for those awards, because as we said at the start, even coming up with the shortlists, never mind the winners, literally took us hours because there was so many incredible articles that have been written and worked on during this past year at Youth STEM Matters. So well done, everybody. So we're now going to move on to our volunteer awards. So these equally were difficult also. I can't really decide which was more difficult because they were both extremely hard to choose the shortlists and the awards for. But our volunteer awards celebrate everybody who's been part of the volunteer team over the past year. So as Anne Rosa had shared in her talk earlier, over 85 young people from around 30 countries around the world have been part of the Youth STEM Matters volunteer team in the past year alone. So narrowing down these shortlists was no easy task. So let's go to our first award to start meeting all of our winners. So our first volunteer award is the Extra Mile Award, and this recognises a volunteer who consistently goes over and above what their role asks of them in their contributions to Youth STEM Matters. There are so many volunteers that do incredible work within the team, but these ones are particularly going the extra mile in this past year. So our shortlist is Iona Finney, Kavina Uthaya Kumaran, Karina Norris, Lucy Chen, and William Mehu, Victor Olufemi, and Zainab Khan. So we had a really difficult task for this one. So we did actually, again, pick two winners. So our first winner, and these two winners are in no particular order. Our first winner is Iona Finney. Big congratulations, Iona. The work that you have put in since you joined the team only a few months ago has been absolutely astronomical. You've got involved in absolutely every opportunity, put yourself forward for things, and got absolutely stuck in the team, pushing yourself out your comfort zone in the process. So big congratulations and a very well-deserved award. And then our second Extra Mile award goes to, it's the group of Kavina Uthaya Kumaran, Karina Norris, Lucy Chen, and William Mehu. So back in September, there was a paper which needed to be included in the print edition and needed some quite significant work to be able to be ready for the print edition. These four amazing volunteers gave up quite a significant chunk of their weekend to work on this paper and make it the best it could be in collaboration with the author. So mega shout out to all of you, because both this group of people and Iona all epitomise going the extra mile. So well done on some very well-deserved awards.
For our next volunteer award, we have the Leader Award. So recognizing exceptional leadership in the broadest possible sense at Youth STEM Matters. So for our shortlist, we have Minta Peppermawat, Elizabeth Bourne, Lucy Mbochi, and Madeline Perry. And the winner is Lucy Mbochi. Yeah, I'm pretty sure most people within the team will know exactly what we mean when we name you as being an exceptional leader. So congratulations, it's well-deserved.
Absolutely, and I particularly want to add as well how great it's been to see you grow into that leadership role. I know it's not something that you were 100% confident to take on, but you have done an amazing job, and congratulations on a very well-deserved award. So next up, we have our Inspiration Award. So this is for a volunteer who really inspires and impresses the rest of the volunteer team with their attitude and their skills. There are so many incredible people in the volunteer team, and it's a shame that we can actually only recognise a few here, because I do genuinely think that everybody in some way or another within the volunteer team is genuinely inspiring and absolutely awesome. There's very rarely that you find somebody that you don't think that of, I think, in the volunteer team, if at all. So it's just a special well done to these particular people who were in the shortlist. So we've got Anne Rosa Bilal, Ezra Almini, Iona Finney, and Poppy Bradley. And the winner of our 2022 Inspiration Award is Anne Rosa Bilal. Huge congratulations, Anne Rosa. The number of nominations we received for you, particularly for this award, was quite astonishing for somebody that I know has had to take a little bit of a step back from the journal this year. But your presence is very much there all the time, even if you are sitting there thinking, but I've been on a break, because you've absolutely been an incredible team member for the past year, and I think that there's no better award for you, and particularly having been so recently recognised as a global team leader, and persevering with that, and being able to get that kind of global recognition. I think that this just goes some small way to being able to recognise from the team also how amazing everybody thinks you are. So thank you so much for all that you do, Anne Rosa.
Yeah, congratulations, Anne Rosa. So on to our next award, the Mentor Award. So recognizing a volunteer who has taken time to help others and to pass on their knowledge and skills. So the shortlist for this award, we have Ayush Shrestha, Arushi Rastogi, Kavina Uthaya Kumaran, and Lucy Mambochi. And the winner of the Mentor Award is Ayush Shrestha. I think Ayush, you'd be surprised that you were nominated quite a few times throughout the year for Volunteer of the Month, and people would often cite how amazing you were to work with, how much advice you gave them, and helped them develop within their role. So I think this will come as a surprise to no one that you are winning the Mentor Award for all the work you put into helping other people within the team develop. So congratulations.
Absolutely, congratulations, Ayush. So our next award is the Growth Award. So everybody, when they join the team, all has different starting points, different strengths, different skills that they have or maybe don't yet have and want to develop. And this award really recognised somebody who's really grown during this past year. So some of them might have kind of struggled when they first started, or they might have started at a point where they were fairly confident and then just went totally out their comfort zone. But all of these people have grown either personally or in their skills and knowledge during their time on the Youth STEM Matters volunteer team. So our shortlist is Maria Teresa Villatoro, Olivia Johnson, Shalini Selim, and Yvonne Zhu. So all of these people have grown in many different ways. I wish I could talk about them all for ages, but we've only got a small amount of time. So I will go to our winner, who is Olivia Johnson. Huge congratulations, Olivia. I know that when you took part in, actually as one of the organisers of the October research conference that we had last year, that was definitely a challenge and definitely a step outside your comfort zone, but you did an incredible job as one of the research conference organisers. And alongside that, we've really seen you grow as a copy editor since you started in the team. So huge congratulations on this well-deserved recognition.
Congrats, Olivia. Okay, next award is Changemaker of the Year. This is in recognition of someone who is driving positive change within the Youth STEM Matters team and has enhanced the experience of our authors, or volunteers, or readers. So for the shortlist, we have Josh Hang, Julia Gardner, Poppy Bradley, and Victor Alufemi. And the winner for Changemaker of the Year is Poppy Bradley. Poppy has done a lot of work within the journal, strategically making it better, but beyond just doing her role exceptionally well, she also is like a huge positivity champion within her team too. And I think everybody sort of notices her presence when she leaves. So for those reasons, congratulations, Poppy. Well deserved.
Absolutely, couldn't have said it any better. Well done, Poppy, on being Changemaker of the Year. So next up, we want to take the chance to be able to recognise some of our volunteers who are doing incredible work within the team, but for one reason or another might not have been celebrated before or might not have kind of got the recognition that they deserve. This is our Unsung Hero Award. So as I said before, everybody in the team is putting in such incredible contributions, but these people we feel really need to have that contribution recognised more. So our shortlist for this award is Chibueze Godwin Onikolobe, Elizabeth Byrne, Nina Kera, and Samiksha Manoharan. And this was another one where we found it incredibly difficult, and therefore we had to pick two winners for completely different reasons. So our first winner of the Unsung Hero Award, again, these are in no particular order, but the first winner is Elizabeth Byrne. Lizzie, you have done so much on the team. You have taken on roles that weren't your role to start with, but have just taken them up and got involved and made a lot of things happen, both within the science communication and the life sciences teams. So thank you for always being the person that steps up. That seems to have become your kind of your thing within the team. But we felt that you hadn't really received enough recognition for that. So thank you so much for all you do within the team, and I hope that this award goes some way to recognising it. And secondly, for our unsung hero is Samiksha Manoharan. Samiksha is one of those people in the team who, if you ask somebody to if they can do something, then she'll be there and she will complete that to her absolute best of her ability, and is always given super helpful and detailed reviews to our authors within the science communication team. And also, you met her earlier today. She took up that ask to please talk about writing an article with about 2 days' notice. So I think that if anything, is only one in a very long list of things that Samiksha's done as part of the team. So well done, Samiksha, for all your work in the team, and please do keep it up because you're doing an amazing job that deserves to be recognised.
So for our Youth STEM Matters champion, we're recognizing a volunteer who has embodied the journal's ethos and championed Youth STEM Matters to make a substantial outreach contribution. So for our shortlist, we have Aminta Paprumawat, Anne Rosa Bilal, Kimberly Anindo, Tatenda Murigo. And the winner of the STEM Matters Champion Award is Kimberly Anindo. Congratulations. Kimberly works as an English language copy editor within the team, but she also puts together the abstract every month, which summarizes the journal's updates. So you can actually check the website out for that to see what Kimberly's been writing about and what we've been up to. And Kimberly helped last year with the research conference. And she's always the person within the team that if you need something last minute, she'll step up and do it incredibly well. So she's done a lot of work helping the journal get more of an outreach, and we really appreciate that. So congratulations.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for all that you're doing to champion Youth STEM Matters. So next up, we have our Community Award. So as you might have gathered through some of the presentations that we've had today about the different opportunities within the team, there is such a community within the Youth STEM Matters. And there are some people in particular who are really driving that forward, and we want to recognise them. They're really making great contributions to the Youth STEM Matters community and driving forward our volunteer team community spirit. So our shortlist for the Community Award is Julia Gardiner, Kimberly Anindo, Madeline Perry, and Poppy Bradley. Again, this was a really tricky one, and looking at the shortlist, again, I'm still like, how did we decide on one person? But decide on one person we did. The winner of the Community Award is Madeline Perry. Madeline, huge congratulations for winning the award. People spoke of you in their nominations as somebody who is such a friendly person, so involved and active on Slack, amazing to be in meetings with, and just such a person who is really bringing the community spirit. And I know that you've been doing an amazing job today over on social media, on our Twitter. So shout out to you for that also. But yeah, you have contributed so much to the journal. So congratulations on this award.
This one was an addition we made and a new award we put in, the Rising Star Award. With this award, we want to recognize a volunteer who, based on their current contributions to the team, we can see even bigger things ahead for them in life, but also hopefully at our journal too. So the short list for this award is Abby Fitzsimmons, Isabel Johnson, Kavya Venkatesan, Lorraine Cheng, Tatenda Murigo, Tirivashe Madzinga. And the winner is Tatenda Murigo. I remember when I first met Tatenda, that sounds so sentimental, but she had applied for a position. We interviewed her, and I think immediately after the interview, we knew we had to accept her for something else. And that was to organize the research conference. And she's done amazingly well at that, and we can't wait to see what else is in store for her.
Absolutely, it's been been really great to work with you on the research conference, Tatenda, and we can't wait to see what you do next. So well done on your award, and to everybody else who was shortlisted, because really we see bright things ahead for all of you. You're all so amazing. So well done, Tatenda. Okay, so we have another addition to the awards that wasn't advertised, but this is the Special Recognition Award. There was somebody in the team who we felt the need to recognise, but didn't feel that the other categories or usual ways of recognising was going to be the best way of recognising them. So this is in recognition of somebody who has made an outstanding contribution to Youth STEM Matters. And it'll come as no surprise to anybody who knows this person that they are winning it, but the special recognition for outstanding contribution goes to Adam Cancresci. So Adam, for those of you who don't know, was the original editor-in-chief of Youth STEM Matters. He stepped down from the role at the end of last year, and he's also one of the journal's co-founders. He does remain involved in the journal, which we're very glad about, but we received several nominations across several categories to recognise Adam's involvement in the journal, particularly as the editor-in-chief. He wasn't eligible for any of the awards last year, so we wanted to make sure that that got recognised in these awards. So well done, Adam, on all that you've brought to the team and continue to bring to the team. And I hope that this award goes some way to recognising all of the, as it says, outstanding contributions that you have made to the journal.
Yeah, congratulations, Adam. I'm sorry that my joining the journal was you leaving, but we still work together sometimes with IAG. So now let's go on to Team of the Year, which is recognizing an exceptional collective contribution to the journal. So for our short list, we have Iona Finney and Victor Olufemi. We have Ayush Shrestha and Lucy Mboji. We have the Senior Life Sciences team. We have last year, or October 2021's research conference organizers. And we have the print edition editorial team. And the winner for this award is... Actually, I think we have Iona Finney and Victor Olufemi, who is quite a unique team, considering that they are not in a formal team together. Nobody really knows how or why, but they've come together despite the odds, and they've done incredible work together within the journal and as organizers of the research conference. So congratulations to you both. And the second winner is the print edition editorial team. For some reason during the print edition, there always seems to be something going wrong, but the editorial team always seems to step in, and I think things turn out correctly in the end. They turn out all right.
Yeah, I can vouch for that one. I mean, this group of people that were part of the editorial team, and I'm almost scared here to actually start reading everybody's name out in case I miss anybody, but I'm going to read everybody's name out to make sure they all get recognised. So it's Aminta Permpum-Limat, Anne Rosa Bilal, Emer Stevenson, Katie Molyneux, Lizzie Tierney, Poppy Bradley, and William Mehu. They all came together in the kind of a 1 week, 2 week period to be able to really make sure that the print edition was awesome. And I have the end result here, which will be available, as has been said earlier today, on the 28th of June. So that's 3 days from now. But without them, we couldn't have got it over the line. So big congratulations to all the print edition editorial team. It was a big team effort from the entire Youth STEM Matters volunteer team, but you all went over and above to be able to create it. So huge congratulations on a very well-deserved award. And our final award today, which I know this has been a very long award ceremony, but also it's so important that we do take the time out to recognise all of these incredible people. And I can see how many lovely comments there are in the chat. So I think people are very happy to be able to take time out of their Saturday to celebrate all of these incredible humans who are raising awareness of issues that they care about and helping other young people have the platform to do it. So our final award, which is a bit of a different one in terms of format, is our Volunteer of the Year award. This is the one award that Yara and I have not made the decision on. The entire volunteer team at Youth STEM Matters has taken this decision, and I'm so glad about that because it's in recognition of an outstanding contribution to Youth STEM Matters. And trying to choose that from, like, even trying to get down to this 8, we definitely disagreed, politely and respectfully, but we definitely didn't agree about who should be on it, because there were so many more people. We could have had a list double the length, but we did make a short list, and those shortlisted team members are Elizabeth Byrne, Iona Finney, Josh Heng, Julia Gardner, Kimberly Anindo, Madeline Perry, Poppy Bradley, and Samiksha Manoharan. So for the past week or so, the entire volunteer team have been voting on this. We do have a winner, and the winner of Volunteer of the Year is Josh Heng. Huge congratulations, Josh, on being named Volunteer of the Year for 2022. I think that it's very much an unseen thing in terms of much of what you do for the journal, but actually here at the conference today is one of those times that we do get to see it. Josh is very often the person behind anything technical within the journal. All these slides that you're seeing during the break have been made by Josh. He's done so much of the behind the scenes work of all of our events, but also makes a huge contribution in his role of head of digital and data in terms of bringing all the volunteer team together in our new knowledge base CODA. So Josh has done a great job in terms of making that real, and I think that's a very deserving. Anybody could have won it. That was the kind of criteria that Yara and I had. We had to say we're happy for any of the shortlist to win it, and we weren't able to say that. But huge congratulations, Josh, because that is so well deserved for all the work that you've put in to the team. So congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, Josh. I feel bad for you a little bit because you have such a vast technical knowledge, and yet I always seem to ask you the silliest questions about, like, how do I log in?
Yeah, I think we can both relate to that one, Yara, as very not technical people within the team. But thank you so much, Josh, for all that you've done, and congratulations. So that very sadly brings us to the end of the awards. All of our awards have now been given out, and we'll send you all your certificates over the next couple of weeks to make sure that you get a copy of those. But just huge congratulations to everybody that's been part of the team, who's been writing articles this year. Those who were shortlisted, huge congratulations on being shortlisted, because as we said at the start, it was no easy task to even get to that stage. And of course to all of our amazing winners, because you are so deserving of all the recognition that you've got today. So massive congratulations to all of you lot. So Yara and I are going to disappear in just a second to let Iona do the vote of thanks. But before we do, I just want to give our own thanks to the incredible research conference organisers who have been amazing for this past few weeks. They're amazing generally, but this past few weeks particularly, they have been extra amazing. So thank you all so much. That's Iona, Tatenda, Victor, Tu and Lewis for all the work that you have put in, because you've done a mammoth to make today happen, and I don't want that to go unsaid. So huge congratulations to all of you on what you've managed to pull off today. But I will stop speaking now because Iona is doing the vote of thanks, and I will pass over to you, Iona.